Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to episode 502 of the Directors Podcast. It's getting weird saying 500 now. I am Tyler, and join me, we have the man, the myth, the legend himself, Sir Colonel Gables. What's up, buddy?
Oh my God, Tyler, I am doing pretty good. Got off my vacation, went back to work, went through a whole bunch of gaming stuff at the workplace, so that felt nice. But let me tell you something, man. It's like I feel like I've gotten a lot of stuff accomplished during my vacation time off, so I'm feeling relatively refreshed. Helped tear apart a deck, helped do all this other stuff.
Steam Deck?
Nah, I wish it was a Steam Deck. That would be kind of interesting
Yeah.
to kind of do a little bit of impression, not just impressions, but like giving thoughts and feels on that. But
Also, $550. Where the fuck did you get that from?
oh, oh God. Yeah, I know, right? How would I get that thing from it? But other than that, man, I've just been playing a couple different types of games and stuff. Not a lot of game stuff this week because I've been freaking dead tired and stuff when I got back from work. But other than that, just keeping track of a whole bunch of the gaming news going around. How about you?
Doing all right, buddy. You know, it is 4th of July weekend. People are literally shooting off fireworks right now. I can hear it. But yeah, I'm doing okay. You know, clanging and banging as I always do. You know, a long week of work as they always are. But you know, I'm just excited. We got a 3-day weekend with you. I didn't play too much gaming, but it's been busy. But been playing some fun stuff. We'll talk about that a little bit later. But yeah, I'm doing okay. You know, been doing pretty good. Feeling pretty good, Gables. I feel pretty good. Maybe the fact that I'm on beer number 4 right now.
Eh,
Maybe that's part of it. And I went over to my
maybe.
parents. I dog sitted at my parents' house last weekend, and my dad made me bought me a steak and grilled me a steak today. So that also was awesome. So that was delicious. We're not allowed to have grills here at my apartment, so I don't get to grill very. I don't never get like the only time I ever get to have like grilled food is going over to my parents' house. So when I get invited over, and then I get to go over tomorrow, and we're gonna shoot off fireworks, blow some shit up, and have hot dogs and hamburgers. So it's
There you
also
go.
pretty awesome. So yeah, it's gonna be a pretty decent little weekend, and also, you know, get some gaming in. That's gonna be nice too. Also, fuck, goddamn, Stranger Things came out. Totally forgot about that new
Oh
season.
yeah,
Goddamn.
season 4.
Season 4, part 2. Part
Oh,
1 was fantastic.
I've heard good things. Yes.
Yeah, I thought the magic was gone because we had a 3-year gap between season 3 and season 4, part 1, and then season 4, part 1. I was like 5 minutes into the first episode. I'm like, oh no, it's back. Okay, never mind. It's just been a long time. It's fantastic. So, you watched Stranger Things, didn't you, Gables?
Season 1. That's it.
You watched season 1. Oh man, oh it's a good season. It's a good show. It's a great show. Never thought it's hard sometimes, especially when it's like, you know, it's always supposed to be like an 8-month gap between seasons and like in the story, but like it's been like multiple years. So it's like it's only been like 3 years in the show, but it's been like 6 years in real life. So it's like these
Yeah,
kids are supposed to be
and
like in 8th grade, and they're like kids got like a full beard. So I don't
eighth
know.
grade with the full beard. Oh, of
Yeah,
course.
I mean, to be fair, when I was in 8th grade, I guess my parents bought me a razor for my
Yeah.
birthday for my 14th birthday because it was like, we're sick of looking at your fucking beard. I'm like, okay. So it wasn't a good beard. It's not like it is now when it's like pretty much fully grown in, but it was like it was very patchy. But I had a pretty solid beard when I was in middle school. I got a lot of hair, is what I'm saying,
Yeah.
Gables. For if you donate $5 right now, I will do the next episode's topless.
No.
Okay, that was a good pause. I like that pause though. Give us $20. Gables will do the next podcast with his shirt on. That's a threat. So what I'm saying is, unless you don't give us $20, Gables will not wear a shirt to the next podcast. So
I'm not proud of your shit. Anyway.
yeah. Anyways, this is a video game podcast where we talk about plenty of video games, and I get to drink. It's really excuses for me to drink beer and talk video games. 2 things I love. But anyways, if you're watching us, you listen to us, whatever, right now, please like, follow, subscribe. If you're watching on YouTube, click that thumbs up button over there by Gable's junk area. He really likes it when you do that. Look down in the show notes. You'll be seeing all the links to everything we're at: Twitter, Facebook, Apple, Spotify, Anchor, all that fun jazz. Please like, follow, subscribe, everywhere on there. It's a good place to kind of keep getting a heads up when things come out and fun jazz like that. Also, look up on YouTube. Look up Suplex Machine. That is Gable's personal YouTube account. This motherfucker posting videos. I didn't even know about it. I
a
literally found out
video.
while I was talking to him.
And it was a prediction thing for the whole Nintendo Direct Mini. I mean, but past tense and stuff like that. I mean, some stuff is obviously it's a little bit old in that regards. But if you want to watch it, like a little video of me, like go through and like give my thoughts and opinions upon that, I mean, hey, go on ahead.
He's playing some Shredder's Revenge while he's doing it too, so that's pretty cool. But goddamn, Gables, why? I had no idea. He didn't tell me. I had no idea. I literally found out when we were bullshitting, and I was on YouTube.
It was the first
like,
thing that was showcased to you. It's like,
popped up my fucking
like, what the hell's this?
homepage. What the fuck? Yeah, I just seen our logo and I see Suplex Machine. I'm like, what the fuck? What is this? But yeah, I was stunned. I also did a live reaction to it. I did it very late though because I got home super late. I did it like 8:00 at night. And I think it was like 8:00 in the morning my time. But I didn't know what happened beforehand. If you want to go back and watch it, you can. But we're gonna give a full impressions on it here. But I saw like I didn't know what happened, but I saw someone upload like I saw like a tweet or I can't remember what it was, a podcast something, and it was headline titled "The Best Partner Showcase Ever," and I'm like, oh, this must have been a really good one. But Gales, let's talk about that fucking Nintendo partner, direct partner mini, whatever the fuck you want to call it. It was about 25-ish minutes long. And you know what? Imran Khan, my boy at Fanbyte, always does a very good job. Posts when he does directs, showcases, Xbox things, whatever. Always makes one big article with everything that happened in it.
Right.
My boy let me down this time. He didn't do it. But you know who did do it, Gables? You'll never guess. Kotaku. Kotaku did it. Kotaku did it. Right. I want to give him. We give him a lot of shit on this podcast. Not a lot of shit, but we give him shit when they deserve it. And I want to give them props when they deserve it. Hey, thank you so much. I'm pointing at my other screen here for having everything ready to go on for me in one article. I've been bitching about this for years, and Imran Khan was the first person to do it over at fanbyte.com. But he let me down this time, and it hurts. I'm a little upset, a little bothered by it. I might send him an email letting him know how upset I am. But anyways, Gables, let's talk about said Nintendo Direct Partner Showcase. Start off with we have Monster Hunter Rise Sunbreak. That is out now. Came out on the 30th. They had the Capcom. I always mix those two companies up. They did a thing a couple weeks ago going over. They have the expansion, and then also there's a bunch of stuff coming basically for the next year and a half. If there's anything big you want to talk about, Gable, stop me. If not, we'll just do a big roundabout at the end. That's out now if you want to play that. Nier Automata, the End of Aura edition is coming out to the Switch. It's coming this October. Came out 2017. One of my favorite games of 2017. Fantastic game. It just left Game Pass as well, which is unfortunate because I would say everybody needs to go play the game. Everybody needs to go play the game, but it's on Game Pass. Lorelei and the Laser Eyes. Fantastic name. I thought this it's a puzzle game from the devs behind Sayonara Wild Hearts. That came out. This is coming out in 2023. Super Bomberman R2 is coming in 2023. Mega Man Battle Network Legacy Collection is coming. That is the Game Boy Advance games that came out. A bunch of those games came out. It's a compilation coming out next year. I believe though, if you buy it physically, you get everything. But if you buy it digitally, there are two different volumes you got to buy.
Mm-hmm.
Because they were doing like the Pokemon thing back then where like there was a red and blue edition.
Right.
Like it's the same game with minor differences. So there's a bunch of those games that came out there during that time. Pac-Man World Repack is coming. It's a remake of the that's from GameCube, right? That's the one that needed the Game Boy Advance cords.
I think it may be the PS1 version because I think there was a Pac-Man World game for PS1.
Okay, I was thinking it was the GameCube.
Yeah,
game
I was
like,
thinking of that too, but at the same time, I forgot that there was a PlayStation 1 Pac-Man game that was sort of like that. Okay.
Well, that's coming out August 26th. Pac-Mom is in there. Miss Pac-Man is dead, but Pac-Mom is back. So Pac-Mommy is what I'm going to call her from now on. Is that the title of the podcast? Did I just come up with the title? Did you call her Pac-Mommy? Pac-Mommy. I'm going to type that out before I forget it. I'm stopping the show. Pac-Mommy. All right. Going back to Blanc. This game that's going to probably emotionally wreck me when I play it next February. It is a black and white game where there's a fox and a deer. I have seen Fox and the Hound. I know how that movie ends. It's not great, Gables. But it is a I believe it's co-op only, but it's only coming to Switch, which really sucks because I really want to play this game. Gables, I might have to tag you in on this one. You might have to play with me. But I really want to play this game, but I'm ready to be emotionally wrecked. Gables is gonna hear me cry. But yeah, that is coming next February. Return to Monkey Island, which was announced previously, but we finally saw some actual gameplay for it. That is coming this year. No release date yet. Next up here, Mario plus Rabbids Sparks of Hope. This all Ubisoft actually leaked this the day before, which funny enough, Tom Henderson leaked. He's a pretty famous leaker in gaming. He actually leaked that there was going to be a Mario plus Rabbids event on the 29th, which was the day after the Direct. But some people didn't think it would be there, would be here, but it ended up obviously being there. They leaked the date. It was October 20th. They leaked the fact that Bowser is going to be a playable character, stuff like that. But also, they have creatures called Sparks, and they're helping you out. And they have like powers they give you. Kind of showing off that there's going to be like you're no longer like following a grid. You can you're now you can go around anywhere in like a circle.
Mm-hmm.
Instead now it's still an RTS style game, but instead of having grids, it's more of you can go anywhere. Then we had Little Noah, Scion of Paradise. Gables, I'm not gonna lie to you, I don't remember this game.
Oh yeah, that one. It kind of reminds me a little bit of like a mobile game and stuff, from what it looks like.
Okay, I don't remember that game at all. Railgrade had a killer soundtrack. That's that train game. You can build train stations and build tracks. Right. RPG time, The Legend of Right. This game has been out talked about for I think 5 or 6 years now. It's finally got a date. It's coming out August 18th. Yeah, it's basically like an RPG maker, but you're on a storybook. It looks very it's cool to look at. But yeah. Sonic Frontiers. We got more gameplay for that one because God knows we need more of that. Then we had Disney Dreamlight Valley, which is like the Stardew Valley ripoff, but it's Disney. Live Alive is coming. It's coming July 22nd. We already knew that, but they announced a demo that you could play the first 3 chapters of this time traveling game starting now. I was reading the headline there, but there's 3 different characters you can play as, and you can play. I believe Gables, you said you could play the first chapter of each character. Right?
Yeah, the first part of each a particular chapter, what they give you.
Okay. Darimon, Story of Seasons, Friends of the Great Kingdom,
farming game,
Minecraft Legends. Yep. I'm trying to remember that game. I remember seeing it, and I just it's a farming game, right? Okay.
Yes.
Okay, it's a Bandai game. Okay. Minecraft Legends, that's the RTS game that was revealed at the Xbox Showcase. That's coming 2023. Dragon Quest Treasures. I thought this was a mobile game for the longest time, and then I guess it's not a mobile game. But it is coming December 9th to the Switch. Portal Companion Collection has Portal 1 and 2. It is coming to the Switch. It is actually out now. That was a shadow drop. Gills, when I saw this, I'm like, isn't this already out on here? And I guess it's not. So, well, it is now. But at that time, I just assumed it's been on there forever. Next up here, we had Harvestella, which has kind of been the talk for you fucking weebs out there. A lot of people are excited about this one. So yeah, it's like a farming. It's like if they did oh my fucking god, my goddamn Google Chrome fucked up. We're good here. We're on the next last thing. Harvestella though, it's like if Harvest Moon was turned into a JRPG. And then finally, last but not least, Persona 3, 4, and 5 are coming to the Switch. Persona 5 Royal is coming October 21st. It's coming to Game Pass and everything else. And I think there's a PS5 and stuff like that too. PS and PC. But yeah, it's been confirmed now, coming to the Switch. Gables, what was your thoughts on this Nintendo Partner Showcase?
Well, I came in with low expectations because, for one, it was a third party, like Nintendo Direct and stuff, aimed at, for that particular stuff. Sorry about that. My mom actually just handed me my toolkit that I've had lost for about a good solid week and a half.
Oh, good for you, buddy. What kind of tools you got in there, buddy?
Oh, this is how I open up game systems and stuff.
Oh, we got some Allen wrenches in there. Is that what I'm
Well, they're
looking
not
at?
Allen wrenches. They're actually just little bits of like little interchangeable precision ratcheting
Oh,
screwdriver kit and stuff. So I actually use
gotcha.
that to order to take apart certain things of my dad's like disabled like ramp and stuff like that for the guy to rebuild
Oh,
stuff. But
gotcha. Okay.
that aside, though, focusing on that Nintendo Direct third-party showcase, yeah, I came in with low expectations because for one, we've had these similar type of directs in the past, and they were okay and stuff, but they were interchangeable with like what would appeal to specific people at that time. They usually have a little bit of everything. If something sticks, more power to you. If
Hmm.
something doesn't, there's always something else that you can go forth and maybe see, oh, this has some bit of interesting stuff. It felt like sort of the same thing with this third party like a Nintendo Direct and stuff, but at the same time, I kind of felt like in terms of what it initially brought, there were a lot of interesting stuff that happened to what I feel this is definitely one of the stronger ones we have initially got. I kind of feel like in the respect of what was brought over to the Nintendo Switch, what's coming out in this next 6 months to a year and stuff,
Hmm.
relatively strong on the third party front. I mean, I can't really doubt it too much because for one, we got so many noteworthy third party games coming onto the Switch system in general. I mean, you mentioned it before, the stealth drop of both Portal 1 and 2. Those games have been out for years on Steam, obviously on
Hmm.
the Xbox and stuff, and on PlayStation systems and stuff. But the fact that Nier Automata is coming this October, it does have some Nintendo content inside of it, with some costumes and this and that. They really haven't specified what else Nintendo related is in it. But yeah, Nier Automata coming. You have like the Portal 1 and 2 stealth drop during that stuff. Then it's like you got the whole aspect of the Persona games, obviously, being confirmed coming to the system, which, yeah, that has me excited. Honestly, it does have me excited. Even though I have played through 4 and 5 and stuff, haven't played so much of 3, but the fact remains is I wanted to see this franchise come onto every system. And honestly, I'm completely happy because for the subset of gamers that only stick with maybe one or two or can only afford to play maybe one system or have PC and then something else and stuff. This is definitely a win for them because if they're into like the long-term RPGs, they've heard this game for like the last 4 or 5 years and stuff being incredibly excellent, which is Persona 5. They have an aspect, they have a way to play it. For everyone else and stuff, hey, comes on the Steam stuff. You can play it on your Steam Deck if you manage to find a Steam Deck, which a
Hmm.
last vast majority of us have not yet. So
No.
we're doing
Seems like they said they're doubling production though, so it's getting better.
well, yeah, yeah. But at the same time, for those of us that really can't afford a Steam Deck and really just want to stick with it with the
Hmm.
Switch and stuff, this is definitely a
Oh
good
yeah.
gain. This is definitely a good gain inside that system's library. But
Should happen years ago.
in terms of like other games that were announced for it and stuff, that Dragon Quest Treasures, that Dragon Quest Treasures game looks okay in that regards. There's some aspects of like an action RPG style of things over there. The whole aspect of the whole Harvestella, which it looks unique. It's definitely the whole theme of this third party direct was like, look at this farming game, look at this farming game, now look at this farming game and stuff like that. They
Look at
definitely they
Minecraft.
definitely hit that sort of niche and stuff to where this is mostly catered to people that were either hardcore like JRPG fans or like just really into the whole like aspect of like certain Japanese style games inside of this direct. So yeah, of course, there's some things that hit close that I liked in that regards. But I'll tell you what, though, even with the Persona games, even with like Nier Automata, Portal, everything else that was going through and announced, I was more or less fascinated in seeing that they managed to not only do a remaster of Pac-Man World, but the Capcom is coming out with a freaking Mega Man Battle Network collection. I mean,
Yeah.
I did not see that happening from anywhere because it's like that was a subset of games that an incredibly small niche of players managed to play through and experience back in the day. Some of those hardcore fans have been clamoring for a chance to play those games, considering that all of those games that were mentioned, some of them, I think maybe one or two never came stateside. But those games are incredibly hard to find, especially on the pre-owned market because they're hyper expensive. Yes, there were kind of like Capcom's attempt to do like a whole Pokemon, like say red, blue, this way, that way, and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I've been somewhat fascinated in trying to play some of those games, but at the same time, never had access to those games itself. But having it in like one big package and stuff, having like maybe 40 or $50, I mean, that's perfect. I could at least go forth and try it. Because now, because of Capcom, their Mega Man games, we've not only gotten like the incomplete original Mega Man games, but Mega Man X. We've had like the Mega Man Zero collection stuff, the whole Game Boy Advance DS stuff from that series, and now we have another series in regards to the Mega Man Battle Network stuff. Now, if they only did like say with Mega Man Legends, I feel like more players, more hardcore niche sort of like Capcom fans would be like absolutely just just on cloud nine with the aspect of playing Mega Man Legends 1 and 2. But in regards to the games that we did see, I thought overall it was fine. Overall, in terms of the quality of the direct itself, I felt like it was kind of like a solid 7 out of 10. Because even though I came in with like low expectations of it, yeah, there were definitely releases in this regards to where I felt like, yeah, the system definitely needed this type of boost and stuff. I kind of felt like that it really catered to like one type or like one or two types of gamers, which were incredible like hardcore JRPG fans or hardcore Japanese game fans and stuff. Not a bad thing, but at the same time, there really wasn't too much for other other types of like gamers and stuff for this type of direct. Like if you weren't into like any type of like RPGs, like say Harvestella or the Persona games or this or that, you would have just seen like maybe one or two things that may have had somewhat interest and stuff, but you probably would have came out a little bit lowerly impressed with this. But I thought it was a good direct. Honestly, I thought it was one of the better ones. I'm not sure if it was the best third party, but at the same point, it definitely was strong, and I could definitely see people getting excited for this upcoming 6 months to a year. But Tyler, what were your thoughts of it?
I really I know we already have a bunch of different uh, Nintendo Directs. We have like indies, we have partners, we have minis, we have like the big ones.
Yeah.
I really appreciate it if they made the next one another Direct title, and they just call it Nintendo Direct for the fucking weebs, so I cannot waste my time and watch these fucking things. Come on. You said it yourself. There's farming games. Here's fucking weed games. You know what, Gables? We're gonna make a fucking farming weed game for you too. Here's Harvestella. Fuck you. My God. I was bored out of my goddamn skull. I know obviously these like I like I said, if you watch the my reactions, or if you didn't, I said at the time, it's kind of like the indie things, the indie directs, where it's like they're exciting if something connects with you, but there's been times where we've watched those indie ones where like five things hit me, and there's been times where those indie ones came and like five things hit you, but not me,
Mm-hmm.
or like people loved it, or like half people loved it, half people hated it. And that's the case with some of these, like sometimes like with these third party ones. Like a lot of times there's maybe like not big news that comes out of it. Like the big one, the big directs, the big showcases, whatever. Like there's always newsworthy topics come out of these. But these ones it's more personal based. So yeah, if there's things in there like you Gables, like you're excited for Persona, but I feel like that being the one more thing would have been fucking awesome if Xbox didn't have their thing a few weeks
Absolutely.
ago.
Definitely.
Totally stole thunder. And like coming to Game Pass also steals thunder, where it's like, well, I already have an Xbox and I already have Game Pass, so
Might
if
as
I'm
well
gonna play the
try it.
games finally, I'm gonna play them on Game Pass. Also, achievements. Also, it's probably gonna run better. Not even trying to, not taking a shot, just facts.
Plus, you get the best
Um,
version of Persona 5, whereas, like, with the PlayStation collection and stuff, you only get the original version.
yeah. So, yeah, it's a good point. And it's no longer on that version. So,
Yeah, it just got taken
I
off.
think that's part of the contract ran out on that one. So that's probably why now it's coming to Game Pass. Because but it's funny the PlayStation Collection, which was exclusive on until October, only got the base edition where Game Pass is going to get the Royale
And
edition.
what's the most
And on top
hilarious
of that,
is
3 and 4.
that's definitely the game that you should try if you want to really get into the series. But
Yeah.
it's definitely it can be a slow start, but once it starts building and once you do a lot of the character interactions and figure out how the combat works, you're gonna be hooked.
Yeah. So I get people excited. Obviously playing games on Switch. There's a reason people love buying games on Switch. There's a game I'm going to talk about a little bit later that I regret buying on PlayStation. Which I put on Switch. I'll talk about that a little bit later. But yeah, it was fine. I think the Mario plus Rabbids things was exciting, but it's like totally the thunder was stolen when Ubisoft themselves leaked the game already, or leaked the date, which is like the main thing. Really, all I cared about, like I'm in. Just tell me the game's we're getting a sequel, and like, hey, there's new Mario plus Rabbids. Don't even have to show me anything. Don't tell me anything. I'm buying $60. Here you go. I paid for this game a year ago. Like
Yep.
that's like I'm so excited. I bought this game a year ago, and I'm just waiting for it to come out. So have a date. It just sucks. It's October because apparently everything's just October now. Um, but yeah, we'll talk about it a little bit later. But yeah, I don't know. It was whatever. I'm not gonna give it a number because it's like I don't. There was nothing that connected with me on this level besides Mario plus Rabbids. Like Plague Tale Requiem is a game I'm excited for, but it's coming to Game Pass. And if I was gonna buy this, pay the full $60 for this game, I'm not gonna play it on fucking cloud on Switch. So, but yeah, I'm not trying to be negative. Not trying to yuck your muck, as the kids say. Or I guess I think it's just me. Everybody says yuck your yum, and Gables, I think that's wrong. I think it's yuck your muck. I think it should be yuck your muck because he is the most underrated Pokemon out there besides Pidgey and Charmander and Cubone. Moving on, anyways, Gables. We're 26 minutes in. Okay, sorry. I'm doing time codes, and I talked out loud. Sorry. Moving on, Gables. Sticking with Nintendo for 1,000 here. The more exciting Nintendo news this week: Metroid Prime Remaster, finally, apparently, allegedly happening. Jeff Grubb has been talking about this for a while now.
Yes.
It's been in the make, and it's been in the making, and it's supposed to be coming, and it's been done, and just kind of waiting. He's never said this outright, but he's always assumed that it would be coming once it didn't happen in 2021, that they'd hold it to November of 2022 because that would be the 20th anniversary of Metroid Prime, the original.
Right.
So apparently, from what it sounds like, it is coming this November, or at least this holiday season. But he still assumes that it's 20th anniversary, but now he's saying that it's coming this year. And he said that it's going to have dual stick and gyro controls. So weirdos like Justin that like gyro can still play in gyro. Fucking awful people. But also that they are not only, this is new though, not only are they remastering, it's more of, he said it's more than a remaster, but it's less than a remake of Metroid Prime 1.
Okay.
But he also said that Metroid Prime 2 and 3 are also being remastered, but they will not be coming in a package. They will be sold separately. But the bigger remaster will be 1, and then 2 and 3 will be just like a more what we expect from a remaster.
Okay.
So I don't know. I mean, I played Metroid Prime back in the day on GameCube. I've never been a Metroid guy. Maybe I appreciate more now, but I just wasn't my jam. And plus, first person shooter games back in that time, not the best. But I don't know, Gables, what's your opinion? You're more the Metroid guy than me.
Metroid
Gables,
Prime.
Real fast. I'm gonna go pee, but remember, I can still hear you.
Okay.
No weird stuff.
Just like the rabbit that ate the big carrot, Metroid Prime is definitely a fantastic experience. I remember playing it back when it first released in 2002. Yeah, I'm dating myself here. 2002. When it came out to the GameCube, I rented it from a local video store and I played a good portion of that game. And let me tell you something. If this game is coming out like with a remaster and there are a bunch of stuff that is not only touched up but elaborated upon from the original release, we're looking at a Game of the Year contender, definitely. Because back when that game first released, people were game enthusiasts, game reviewers back then. They were utterly impressed by the quality that Retro Studios put into Metroid Prime. Until that point, Metroid was just a 2D only style of game. From Metroid, Super Metroid, Metroid 2 on the Game Boy and stuff, and even all the way up to 2002, there was two. There was like two Metroid games at that time, Metroid Prime and Metroid Fusion. But yeah, Metroid Prime, fantastic game. Just think about it this way. A first-person shooter, people tout it as like a first-person adventure style of game, but let's be perfectly practical here. You're shooting things with your arm cannon. You're going through solving little bits of puzzles. This is basically Nintendo's own type of game that almost simultaneously kind of competed with like Half-Life 2, but never openly said it. Because, well, here's the thing, though. I mean, it The reason why I'm saying this, first and foremost, is like on the GameCube and stuff, you definitely had a solid first-person shooter type of experience with Metroid. You had epic music, you had great environments to go for explored, you had excellent bosses you had to go forth and fight off against. Oh, the big old freaking Prime like Queen and stuff. The first level that set the mood because it felt more like less of a like kind of a fantasy sort of esque type of thing into like almost similar to that of like almost a survival horror style of feel in that regards to where yeah you definitely had the power of Samus Aran and stuff with your power cannon this and that, but you were facing all these ferocious looking fucking insects and crazy ass looking monsters from you had like you had that insect queen and stuff that first ship level, and all of a sudden you go into this ice thunder level where you face off against this ice monster that has all these multiple eyes and icicle protrudings from its back called Sheegoth and stuff that you're trying to go forth and freaking take out, and then all of a sudden all the things with Meta Ridley and all the things with the Metroids and shit. It's like I have good fond memories of the original Metroid Prime, and if we're getting it by the November of this year, like Jeff Grubb is saying, which I don't doubt him in regards to some of the stuff that he says and stuff, but
yeah, he's been pretty much he's been batting 1,000 for the most part, I'd say.
well, I don't doubt that Nintendo has been stacking upon games finished because they have been known to do that. Nintendo marches by the beat of their own drum. They release their games whenever they feel like. I mean, hell, we're still waiting on the Advance Wars games, like the Advance War collection things from.
Why you gotta hurt me, Gables? I try not to remember that game exists.
Well, that's the thing. I'm excited for that game too, and I really want to play it. Damn it! But
it was supposed to come out last December.
I know.
Russia's gonna fuck everything for everybody. Gas is like $6 a goddamn gallon. Fucking Advance Wars isn't out yet. Fucking Ukraine's under attack. The most important thing, obviously, Ukraine is under attack. That's obviously way worse than anything else we're gonna talk about here. But in the story of our jokes and having a good time here, fuck them. Fuck Russia. They fuck everything up.
Well, yeah, definitely fuck the set of circumstances, but at the same time,
except for the vodka,
prevent a freaking game from coming out when they need to.
I get it though. I mean, that's probably why GoldenEye. Like people don't, I think it's changed now, but like, who wants to play a war game where the first level is literally fighting is Russia invading another country? I get the why, because people are like, it's bad taste come out, and then also it's like, consumers business wise, like no one's gonna want to buy that game. I don't want to buy that game. That's like, whatever.
Yeah, but they definitely have waited their fair share of months and stuff in order to.
As people are thinking maybe that's why GoldenEye isn't out yet either, because a lot of it is deals with Russia. So
yes, but going back to Metroid Prime and stuff, I definitely want to see it come out this year. Tyler, what were your thoughts about it?
It's not my game. I played it. I remember picking it up on GameCube during like the player choice games on GameCube, like $20, the good old days. But I remember playing it, and I remember being that first level and playing a lot of it. And it just never clicked for me. That wasn't my type of game back then. Like I said, like doing it with one stick back in the day, not the greatest. Big firework out there. Yeah, I don't know. Like I said, I'm excited for other people. I'm curious what they do with 2 and 3. Mm-hmm. Like, if that's not gonna be, if they're not gonna put as much work into 2 and 3 as they did 1. Well, is that gonna be more of like, is that gonna be a package deal, or is that gonna be like are they gonna like how much? Like, I'm betting that Metroid Prime Remaster is $60, but like maybe they put those 2 and 3 out. If they're not gonna do as much work, maybe they're $40, or maybe it's 2 for $60.
I'm kind of interested in seeing what they do with Metroid Prime 3 because that was Wii Remote and Nunchuck.
That was Wii, yeah.
So if they do a traditional type of things like they sort of did, like say with Skyward Sword and stuff like that, I'd be more inclined to go forth and finish that. Because even though I have all 3 of the Metroid Prime games, I do have the Metroid Prime trilogy on Wii itself. The thing that kind of kept me back from wanting to go forth and finish some of those games, especially Metroid Prime 3 Corruption, is because of the whole Wii and Nunchuck stuff. At that point, I was really much tired of using like the Wii and the Wii's nunchuck and Wii controller and stuff. I played my fair share of Smash. I played my fair share of Mario Kart Wii during that time and stuff. But once I got burned out of playing that system and stuff, I really could not go back and try to touch the thing. Whereas,
we've seen them do it with Mario Galaxy. They put that in a collection together as well. So, and Gills, I'm glad you're on my side now, where we can all finally agree that the Wii was trash.
Oh, we live in a fantasy world.
We live in the Wii world where everybody just plays farming sims. Apparently.
Oh, jeez. You telling me about that where I'm staring at my freaking literal copy of Metroid Prime Trilogy.
Yeah, yeah. Gables still remembers that day. It's a bad day for him. It's up there with playing Pitter Pot, as worst days of all
I'd
time.
rather be playing Metroid Prime Trilogy than Pitter Pot any day of the week. Anyway.
Gables, I'd rather a woman come up and kick me in the nuts with the high heels than play Pitter Pot. But let's move on. Moving on to a non Nintendo thing. Again, I'm very interested in motherfucking God of War.
Yeah.
A lot to digest here. So God of War, big thing, supposed to come on June 30th. We talked about the last few weeks. I've been talking about nonstop for the last 4 years.
Yep.
I love my game, favorite game of all time. I talked about that. Replayed the game last year and like confirmed it. Favorite game of all time. I've been saying on here, just give me a goddamn date. I've been saying it over and over again. But I do it in jest.
Yes.
You know, like I want this fucking game more than anything. If somebody came up to me, like a genie came up to me, is like, hey Tyler, it's like, I can give you the date to God of War right now. Not even the game, just the date. Or you and Jennifer Lawrence can live happily ever after. It's at least a conversation.
Oh my god, dude.
It's at least a conversation. I'm going to talk about it. I'm going to think about it. I'm like, well, like, you know, it's Jennifer Lawrence. And if she's happy and I'm happy, that's pretty good. But also, I got the date for God of War. I'm the strongest nerd on the internet. You know? Like, no one could touch me for
10 minutes.
at least the next 2 weeks. Well, yeah, the next 10 minutes. Hey, 10 minutes on the internet, that's a long time. That's like a month. I could probably get a lot of things out of people for that. Like, hey, $50. I'll give you the date right now. But anyways, no, but seriously though, like I love God of War. I want the date more than anything, but it was a bad week for gamers, I would say, between the Secret of Monkey Island stuff where Ron Gilbert, it's like he was live blogging about the game and being pretty proactive on the internet about talking about the game, and just the negativity on the internet about that. People, he said he's no longer going to talk about. He's basically just not talking about the game on the internet anymore, just because you can't deal with negativity anymore. So he's done talking about it
I don't blame him.
now, which is awful. We've seen that before years ago with Fez 2, where the guy got so much harassment that he just canceled the game. And I mean, remember you, me, and Jake talked about the game like about that like 8-9 years ago when that like on this podcast. And man, like, you know, a lot of people were calling him sensitive, like just calling him all the shittiest things. Different time, I know. It was like 2013, 2014, but still, I said at the time, I remember saying at the time, if I was in that situation, I probably would have done the same fucking thing as him. Don't blame the guy at all for that. It just sucks to happen. But man, I know it's the bottom 1% of gamers. But unfortunately, the minority usually is the most vocal. And he's like, you always go on the internet. That's why you get stuck in those bubbles. It's the vocal minority that are usually the loudest. And it's just pretty awful. The like Corey Brawler posted the thing about like, and I messaged you. I'm like, doesn't seem like we're gonna get the God of War on Wednesday. I messaged you. I'm like, doesn't seem like the God of War thing's happening. And like Corey Brawler, and then like I made the mistake of looking at the comments, and it's just the shittiest of things. And then you got people like finding women that work on the game and sending them dick pics to like get them to give them the date. I'm like,
that's just low.
And then, like, yeah, and you see like some of the things there, like people are like sending to the women that work there, and like just the awful, most misogynistic and sexist things you can say to people, and just it doesn't matter, male, female,
well, let's just call
whatever.
It out for what it is. It's absolutely the lowest of low trash.
Yeah,
that's the thing. Yes, the vocal 1% and the most extreme, the almost extremist versions of fans have been going through and attacking not only just the Corey Balrog and stuff, but a lot of the people that are working on this game and stuff, just for the sheer on fact that they can't have the freaking release date now. That's fucking ridiculous. If you're that much of a fan of that game, then do like anybody else. Wait. Have some patience. Have some fucking decent respect, for God's sakes. Actually be a human being instead of degrading somebody just because you can't have something fast enough. Don't be a no, just don't be like a freaking piece of garbage and go through and just basically just say, hey, I'm entitled to have this now. Because guess what?
Yeah.
Nobody cares about your entitlement. You have to
Yeah.
wait like everybody else in order to get your shot. Quit acting like a child, act like a fucking adult,
Yeah.
or else you're going to get your ass kicked and set in the corner like every other piece of gutter trash.
Yeah. And entitled is like the most annoying word to me, like used right
Mm-hmm.
now in a lot of things. But it is the most
It's the perfect
perfect
word.
word for what this like. We're not even talking about the release date. I feel like Allen Iverson right now. We're not talking about practice. We're talking about practice, man. Practice, not a game. Practice. We're talking about the date, not the hey, the game is coming. Like the game got delayed the day before it came out. We're not talking about the game got delayed. We're talking about the date for the game. The date, not the game is not got delayed. The date, and even if the game got delayed, so like I would be bummed. Like there is nothing wrong with being when a game gets delayed that you love. There's nothing wrong with being bummed about it. I'm
Absolutely.
sure no who's more bummed about it. People working on the fucking
No,
game.
I'm bummed about it,
We're bummed, and they
obviously.
know because we're bummed. There's nothing wrong with like a game gets to push to 2023.
Right.
Starfield gets delayed. I don't care about the game, but people are super crushed by that game being bumped or getting delayed. I get it. That's fine. And there's nothing wrong with that. Like, but turning that you're bummed out to like harassing people and bitching about it and finding like not only just sending a stupid tweet on the internet, but
Mm-hmm.
finding the people that work on it. I can't imagine somebody making something that I love and like treating them like garbage because I didn't get like if Gordon Ramsay invited me over for dinner to his house and said, I'm gonna cook you the greatest meal of all time. I'm like, all right, cool. And then 20 minutes of me waiting, I'm like, is this fucking thing gonna be done any time now? Like, who the fuck am I to do that? You know?
Mm-hmm.
Like they're gonna make to you what is probably gonna be one of the greatest games of all time. Whether you love it or not, whatever. Like Elden Ring, not my game. Probably one of the greatest games of all time. I'm willing to admit that. But if like this game's gonna come out, probably gonna be one of the greatest games of all time, one of the games of the year, one of the games of the
Right.
generation, and you're gonna be upset because you didn't get a date soon enough. And when this game comes out, it comes out. We're all gonna love it, hopefully, most likely. And we're gonna totally forget this happened. But just a bad week for gaming. A bad week. And I know it's the bottom one. And I said a thing to Corey Barlog when he tweeted out, and I know he probably didn't see it. But I just want to like, there's so much negativity in there. I just want to send something positive. I'm like, hey, take your time. If this game gets delayed next year, it gets delayed next year. You know what? I said to him, I said, there are a ton of great games coming. Take your fucking time. And that's truth.
Absolutely.
We're going to talk about games coming out for the next 3 months. You take a look at the games for the next 6 months. It is
It's packed.
insane. You look at October. October is like I can make a top 10 game of the year list out of October.
Absolutely,
So
you could. I mean,
yeah, and like God of Wars would be number one amongst all those most likely. But don't be a dick. Don't be a dick.
there's so much other type of content you can go forth and engage yourself in, but yet there's like plenty of people that are obsessed upon this one aspect of it and stuff like that they fail to realize and stuff. Hey, the best things, sometimes the absolute best things you can enjoy in your life, take patience, take time in
Mm.
order for them to come out. And once they do, and once you experience them, sometimes it's something you never even asked for, and you end up getting it, and it blows your mind. In this case
Yeah.
and scenario, God of War Ragnarok, if it becomes one of the best games of the year, which I humbly believe that this is definitely when it does release this year or whenever they feel like it's going to release, it's going to be one of the best games of the generation.
Yeah.
I absolutely feel that way. But in order
Yeah.
for it to get to that pinnacle in the extent, I understand that people are bummed about it, but you got to let these people do their work and do their just cause. Because if you go
Mm.
forth and keep harassing them, we're not going to hear shit about this stuff.
Yeah.
We're not even going to get any type of hints or teasers or any type of that stuff. But the most important thing is let people do their work. Stop being an asshole. And if you're very upset because a game developer or people don't give you the information that you want and you physically go forth and do shit like that, showing dick pics, yelling at them, screaming at them online, distance yourself from the internet. Absolutely take a break from social media. You need help.
Mm.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Call a
Yeah.
shrink. Do whatever you can.
Yeah. Yeah.
Whatever type of thing that's going to get you happy and get your mind off of this type of stuff, please. I know mental illness is a big thing, but at the same time, you have to step back and realizing, hey, sometimes it's best to step back, assume the situation, and make sure that come future elements and stuff, you basically do things the right way, which is wait your turn.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, like if I don't, I can't even like fathom being in that mindset. Like I said, for someone to make something that you love so much that you want so bad that you are actively being terrible to them
Right.
because you didn't get the fucking date to it, which newsflash is pretty much we already know November. And to turn that into kind of what the story here is, Tom Henderson, uh, who's kind of the original guy that mentioned it, Jay Schreier also did talk about too, that the last week of June was the day. And also I want to point out, people have been like now getting mad at the leakers out there. And even Corey Barlog himself said, don't get mad at them. That's not their fault. It's nobody's fault. Like, we can't get mad at leakers. We can't be like demanding we want dates
yeah.
and then get mad when shit like I don't understand that. Like, we get excited and we love it. Like when Jeff Grubb or somebody has like last year he had all the information to the Xbox event. And he gave a lot of it, not all of it, but he gave a good chunk of the information out. And we loved it. We wanted it. We asked for it. And then people bitch like, well, everything leaked, so it wasn't that exciting. Like, fuck off. Like, you can't say we want it and then get mad. Like, going back to the Gordon Ramsay thing. Like, if he invited me over for dinner, but then I went and stopped at fucking
Taco Bell.
McDonald's, Taco Bell, and ate fucking 6 tacos and came over like, yeah, I'm not that hungry now, so it wasn't that good. It's like, well, fuck you. You're the asshole.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I don't know. Like, fuck off. Like, you were like, you knew you were gonna get this delicious thing, and then you went out and found all the you filled yourself up before it came out.
Yep.
Fuck off.
You
That's
absolutely
you.
found
That's
a
your
way
fault.
to sabotage yourself, and now all
Yeah.
of a sudden you spoiled it for yourself because you indulged with
You
something
spoiled
before
dinner.
you did it. Yeah.
Yeah, you did the thing your parents have been telling you about since you were 5 years old. Don't eat all this because you're gonna spoil dinner. You fucking did it. And God knows I've done it. And I love leaks. I love finding all
Absolutely.
information out. It's exciting. It's hype. It builds up the hype. It's exciting. It's fun. And even that, like, yeah, does it kind of kill some of the buzz or some of the, like, holy shit moments? Yeah, sure. But like,
But it gets you
it's
excited
still
about
exciting in the time.
possibilities.
Yeah. So fuck off if you're gonna be an asshole. That's pretty much the statement on that one. Fuck off. But so the announcement was originally planned up until Wednesday,
Yes.
and then something happened Wednesday.
Yeah.
Basically there wasn't gonna be like more gameplay. There wasn't gonna be a trailer, but there was gonna be a blog post that was supposed to go live. It was gonna announce the collector's editions, and it was gonna give the release date. That was what the blog post was gonna entail. And then also it was gonna mention that there's gonna be some gameplay later, whether that was gonna be a state of play or whether that was gonna be a just a trailer. Who knows? But yeah. So, anyways, there's 2 collector editions coming soon. Kind of the same thing they did with Horizon Forbidden West. They announced they had 2 different collector editions. There is the big one that comes with a 1-to-1 scale of Thor's Mjolnir hammer, and then there's another one, the Jolnir edition, which didn't say what it comes with though. Oh, here it is. Jotnir edition comes with just the hammer and the game, whilst the collector edition comes with other pieces such as the badge, the map, and the world, and more. I might get a second job because I might buy that fucking collector edition.
I wouldn't be surprised if you did, man. I mean, come on, you're a huge fan of this.
And like I buy very few collector editions of things. The only other collector edition I have, it's not, you can't see in the stream here. Up there though, I have the Last Guardian.
Mm-hmm.
I bought the $120 Last Guardian.
The Trico.
Collector edition. It comes with Trico on the shelf with the boy, and then it comes in a really cool chest that I love. It's one of my favorite things I own. Top 5 things if like the house is on fire and I gotta run back in the house and come back and get Louis, obviously number 1, then me, then that Last of the Guardian thing. Then probably, I don't know, 4 would probably be my Goose. I have the Untitled Goose Game Goose over there. That's probably number 4. Number 5. Ooh, what is number 5? Probably the PS5. I'll say PS5. We'll go with that one. But yeah, there's not more to add to that. But just, you know what? Don't be an asshole, people.
Yeah, really.
But Gables, let's move on. Spent a lot of time yelling at people not to be an asshole. But I feel like it's just due. But let's talk about Q3 2022.
Alrighty.
Let me give me a minute here. I meant to have a prep before we started the podcast, and I didn't do it. I am scrolling down to July. So we're now in July. So we're now in quarter 3 of the year.
Absolutely.
So we've been in a little bit slower period, but it's going to pick up a little bit over the next few months here. So we're going to start here with FIFA F1 22 is out now. We got to stop me if there's anything Gables you want to talk about here. I'm not going to go through everything here, but Phoenix Wright Ace Attorney Trilogy. That's coming. Oh, it's just the iOS. Oh, never mind. Stray is coming July 19th. That's actually coming to the extra for PlayStation Plus.
Yes.
I know it's on Gables.
Interested in trying that game out. I mean,
yeah,
it seems like an interesting conceptual game and stuff where you get to explore things along with like that cat and stuff, and it's sort of like a post-apocalyptic, post-human world and stuff. That's sort of like a sci-fi, cyberpunk-esque sort of setting and stuff. There definitely is some interesting aspects of it. I'm kind of excited to invest myself into the PlayStation Plus Extra just in order to try out that game, because there are some elements I like of it, but I'm morely curious to see how this game is, if it's good or not.
Yeah, it's definitely gonna be a game that I want to see what people say about it before I play it, because I don't want to jump into that's like a, because I have like a year and a half left on my, or 2 years left on my PS Plus, so it's like $70 for me to upgrade to the next tier.
Right.
That's a big jump for me to go to get Stray. I mean, I don't know if I could buy it separately, but if it's, I don't know what the price point for that's gonna be, but yeah, I don't know. I mean, it's definitely a big game that, like, depending on what people say about it, I want to check it out. But Live Alive, I don't know why you gotta say it like that, but that's the only way the commentator said it like that, so now I gotta say it like that. That's the only way I remember how to say it. July 22nd, Gables. I know you've been playing the game. We'll talk about it a little more later, but I'm interested in it. That's also kind of the same way, but I was more on board until it was like I saw the price point at $50, and I'm like, I'll wait and see. What about you?
Okay, I can understand that. When it comes to me, though, I am a sucker for the old school style of JRPGs, and this is definitely the one that generation in the Super Famicom's life where Square Enix was like hitting on all cylinders with that. Not only just with like Final Fantasy II, but also Final Fantasy III, 4, and 6 in the West. Those games, Chrono Trigger, that type of. Actually, no, Chrono Trigger would be after Live Alive. Live Alive and stuff like that.
Live Alive.
But this game looks fairly interesting. Different types of perspectives and that, I am hugely excited to go forth and play this game when it releases.
All right, cool. Yeah, I'm going to wait. Like I said, I'll wait and see. Next up, though, we have Xenoblade Chronicles 3 on July 29th.
Shit. Oh, man, I'm just having myself a little bit of a miniature aneurysm just thinking about the foray that, like, Live Alive. Live Alive's on the 22nd, and all of a sudden Xenoblade Chronicles 3 is on the 28th. So literally,
what a weeby month.
That is a weeby month, but at the same time, man, it's like late July. Normally, that time of the year is dead when it comes to game releases, and
except for
Nintendo, and especially in the year 2022, because you have 2 major RPG releases that are going to be releasing in the same month within a week apart. Or the same week. Yeah. That's 6 days later. But, obviously Xenoblade Chronicles 3, checked out the Direct, checked out all the little things, checked a little bit of the story elements in that trailer. It looks fairly fascinating. It looks like something I would sink into. So, yeah, definitely excited for that one.
All right. Moving on here, we got a little bit of a gap. There's like Cult of Lamb coming out. That is the Devolver Digital guys.
Right.
Rollerdrome, that is the game that was at the last state of play. That's that one that looks, it's like a anime art style, but like you are like,
it's from the makers of Ollie World, I think it is. But
Ollie World, yep,
it looks
you're right.
Okay, I'm not too excited about it.
I'm interested. I want to I want to see a price point. It's also one of those things where it's like, we'll see what people are saying about it. Next up though, Gables, Madden 23, August 19th. You know me.
Mm-hmm.
I'm excited for this game. I put 150, 200, 300 hours into Madden every year.
Can I just say that I'm concerned because we're getting Madden 2023 next month. Yeah. No gameplay. Nothing shown.
We've got gameplay.
Have we?
There's a gameplay.
Okay.
Yeah, there's been some couple trailers, and also they had the beta. Gables, one of these years, I've been trying for 4 fucking years to get this goddamn beta. and I've not been able to get in. Every year I ask and I try and I don't. I get denied. One of these years, Gables, I'm getting that goddamn fucking beta. It's driving me goddamn nuts. But there's been a decent amount of gameplay out there. And there's never really been a lot of gameplay beforehand. We like it's been this is actually kind of regular. Like they'd have it like when they did the EA plays at
Yeah.
E3, they'd have like Madden there, but they wouldn't show gameplay. Um, it's always been kind of weird. Then like later on they would show gameplay. So there's been some out there. They've had some trailers, and then also a lot of beta footage has been out there.
Interesting.
Yeah. So it looks pretty good. I like what I'm hearing. They're fixing. It's just it's an issue where like people like you find the plays that work. They fix these plays and more plays pop up. That don't work. So it's just it's all like a lot of games though where that happens. But I'm incredibly excited. They're doing more stuff with the franchise mode, which is the thing I'm into. That's the thing I put all the hours into. I literally just finished my 7th season of my franchise mode today. So I am excited to play Madden 23 when it comes out. So I'm not gonna buy the expensive edition, even though like I can get 20. I can get it for 20% off. Get it for $80, but it's like I can just pay 60. I think it's like $63.
Right.
And get because there's like an EA Play discount. And just get it that way instead. I might get it on Xbox though. No, because I already have EA Play through Game Pass. I don't know. We'll wait and see. But moving on. A few days later, Gables, we have Midnight Fight Express. That's a game I'm super excited about. It's coming to Game Pass, but it's coming to everything else. That is like it looks like what's that Devolver Digital game? Miami Vice. Yeah, no, not Vice. That's a TV show. Miami.
Hotline Miami.
Hotline Miami. Thank you. God damn.
Miami
Wow.
Vice.
Wow. That's way different. It gives me like it has like a style of that, but it's like almost like Sifu like fighting instead.
Right.
That game looks fucking. That's the guy that's made by one person, by one single father. That game looks awesome. That's coming to Game Pass, but it's also everything else. Fucking Miami Vice games. Also that day, Saints Row. I don't care.
Yeah, Saints Row I don't have any interest in whatsoever, especially when they came out and said that some of the creative character options were going to be kind of limited. I'm like, I was already not sold on to begin with. I'm like, nah.
Yeah, I mean they do have the thing out there you can make your character now. Everything I've seen of that game just doesn't do it for me. Lord of the Rings Golem is coming out finally September 1st. I feel like the game's been talked about for years now. It has been talked about for years now, and that game just looks like trash.
Yeah, I have no interest in it, honestly. You would think, though, with like the IP of Lord of the Rings, they would actually structure this game to be somewhat interesting, and more I've seen of it in terms of the gameplay, the less I'm likely to actually want to give it a shot.
Yeah. Coming out though the day after, JoJo's Bizarre Adventure All-Star Battle R.
I would be lying to say if I was saying that I wasn't interested, but yeah, I actually am fairly interested in seeing this game in particular because, for one, I am familiar with the whole JoJo's Bizarre Adventure anime stuff. I've watched at least the first couple of seasons of this thing. I haven't watched the entirety of JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, but what I've seen of this fighting game, it looks relatively fun. It's stylish. The art style is from like a world-renowned like manga artist and stuff like that. His artwork is fantastic, and obviously you see a lot of the stylish stuff inside of the works that he has done in terms not just the anime and manga stuff, but also in terms of the video games as well. Always that stylish, like watercolor-esque sort of look to it, you know. But I'm interested in seeing more so than like seeing the reviews of this first, just in case. Because sometimes anime fighters can be like hit or miss depending upon like what amount of effort has been put into them.
Yeah. Yeah, it's true. I mean, like Dragon Ball Fighters, like that game.
That was
like, I hate Dragon Ball. I hate anime. I hate DragonAll. And guess what? I bought the game twice. I love the game so much. I fucking love that game. It's my top 10 game of the year. That game was awesome. Give me more of that.
Maybe the Wii, but you still love that game to pieces.
I will. Where good games are, I will go. Moving on though, that same day, Last of Us Part 1, Gable's most anticipated game for the rest of the year.
You know what? I did like a lot of like The Last of Us Part 1, but like what I was saying back around 2012 and 2013, I played through that game. I enjoyed it. It was one of the best games of that year when it came out and stuff. I have no interest in playing through the first game. I mean, there was a lot of great stuff in that game, but at the same time, I still kind of feel like the remaster of this PS5 version of it is too soon. I mean, I've had the PS4 version still and stuff, and I have played some of that DLC beforehand, going into the main game and this and that. But yeah, I would much rather wait for like another major release before I would replay The Last of Us Part One.
Yeah, it's definitely gonna be a game that like I can see myself picking it up just because there's like a pretty big gap in September,
Yeah,
and that would be the reason why. Just because like, well, there's not, I'm just kind of sitting around waiting for games to come out, so I'll play this, but not because I'm like super like I love Last of Us. It's one of my 5 favorite games of all time for sure. I
right.
replayed it. I beat the game 3 times now. I've replayed it right before Part Two came out. Um, but yeah, I'm not. Maybe like once I see some gameplay, because like we haven't seen gameplay yet.
Right.
Um, maybe then I'll change my mind. I don't know, but yeah, I don't know. We can wait to see. But I think this will be the last one we talk about here. Splatoon 3, December 9th.
Yeah, that's the main reason why I'm playing. That's the main reason why I would go over and skip Last of Us Part 1 is because Splatoon 3 is going to be releasing in the same month. I went through Splatoon
Same
2.
week.
I fucking loved playing through Splatoon 2. That single player mode was a lot better than I thought it was going to be. I heard little bits here and there in that regards of like the quality of it, but having enjoyed and experienced it myself and also still partially playing through the Octo expansion and stuff, dude, I am actually excited to see what new elements of this game they introduced in the single player. Because from what we've seen previously, it looks crazy. I want to go forth and be there day one, just because I want to enjoy collecting a lot of the sardiniums and stuff, and the whole freaking scripts of paper from whatever type of freaking journal they're gonna go forth with this. But these are like mindless fun games. You know, you have a bunch of like third person shooter elements and stuff. You're covering shit. You're going through these creative ass, like crazy ass levels with trippy music. And yeah, I'm excited for Splatoon 3.
All right, cool. Well, I think that's gonna wrap up for that part of it. Gables, I thought it'd be real fun though. Let's do our favorite games of the year.
Okay.
We're midway through the year. Maybe I'll do like we're not. I'm not saying rank them. We're not saying do like what's your game of the year. Like if you're making your top 10 list now, what's your short list for game of the year contenders?
Right. All right. So, not numbering them, like the first one that pops off in my head is the latest one that I actually ended up going through and finishing, which that was TMNT Shredder's Revenge. That is a fucking fantastic beat 'em up. It is enjoyable. It's replayable. It's definitely a game I want to play with you and some other people in regards to Xbox Live. Come get Extra Life. That is
Yeah.
a phenomenal game. And the best part about it is it takes the best aspects of the classic TMNT beat 'em up titles from like the whole 90s, 80s, 90s and stuff, mixes it up, takes a lot of great stuff from the whole classic TV show as well, and it's presented to you in this sort of like a bite-sized like $25-$30 function and stuff to where it is definitely the total package inside of a beat 'em up game. This is from the same makers and stuff that were responsible for Streets of Rage 4, and we both loved Streets of Rage 4 when it came out that year too. And yeah, this is definitely one of my favorite games of the year. I am still thinking about the music. I'm still thinking about doing like little replay
Mhm.
stuff. I am definitely thinking about purchasing on like multiple different platforms because this is the type of game that first time in a long time where I tried it on one system, I played it through there, I want to buy it on another system and possibly another system because I want to support games like this that are high quality, that are fun, that are addictive, and plus, oh, you know what? It doesn't hurt having like a physical form or something on the Switch. But
And you get a little personal paying coupon for Pizza Hut.
all right, now I'm gonna go ahead and switch this one back to you. Just tell me one of your favorite games from this year so far.
Um, I feel like there's a 3-man race for me right now. Uh, Kirby is up
Oh
there.
yes.
Uh, Kirby is, I think, the most surprising game I play. It's probably it's probably like the out of nowhere game of the year for me this year. Uh, like as far as like a game that I like, we talk about it a lot
Mm-hmm.
coming up to the game coming out, where it's like I'm gonna what people say about like I was talking about some of the Q3 games for this year, where it's like I want to wait people say about this. I pre-ordered it. I paid it off. I'm like, if it doesn't come, people don't, if it sounds more like what we expect from like previous Kirby's, especially
Mm-hmm.
like Star Allies, shit like that, where it's like, it's a baby game. then no, but like people came out and said good things about it, bought it. I played it. I played it the first sitting. I beat the first world, and then I went back the next day and I did the second world, or I did my second sitting, and I beat the next thing I know, I beat the fucking game in the second sitting. Like that's how like hooked I got on this game. I love the game. The theme park world is one of the coolest moments in gaming to me. And like it brought me flashbacks to like Nier Automata playing that game for the first time.
Oh wow.
And getting theme park, like that part was one of the coolest moments in gaming history for me. And that brought me flashbacks to that. Like not as good, but like pretty fucking close to how cool. Like that was a peak of the game to me. And the only complaint I have about that is I think that's World 3, and there's 4 more worlds after that, and the game peaked there as far as like coolest world. But like that last fucking hour was in goddamn credible.
Mm.
Man, like it's anime as fuck, but it's so fucking
But I'll
cool.
tell you what,
Like just
man.
like in the laboratory, the final boss fight, the shit you do after you beat the fucking game.
Hmm.
Oh my god, that game.
That after game is no joke either.
Oh
It is fantastic too.
yeah,
But I'll tell you one aspect about Kirby in that regards. The little mini games and stuff like that you get to earn like
yes.
different like little add-ons and stuff, a little bit of collectibles and stuff. Those are utterly fantastic too. They take the power-ups and stuff and they use them in the most creative way possible. So you take these abilities which you probably wouldn't have used otherwise. Now you're using them for a specific course, and now you're going through and trying to blaze through things as fast as possible. That was so fun. It was not repetitive. It did not feel in the most things like unnecessary. You definitely could go through the things like once and stuff like that just to say, okay, I've went through it, I got the little thing. But if you're really enjoying it, which I did enjoy most of those ones, and try to beat the target time, which I ended up doing that because I love that type of shit, then yeah, you know what? That was just the cherry on top of the cake, because from that point and stuff, you had all of these different levels, had all these
Cake.
different themes and stuff. Your typical grass, your typical lava, your typical like ice world, and then like the whole
Mm-hmm.
circus stuff, which that was a fun change. I have to admit that was a fun change, and I can understand how you would feel that it kind of peaked for you for that point, that particular high point and stuff with the whole big top stuff and this and that. I absolutely love the bosses in this game.
Oh my
The
god,
bosses are so
yeah.
fucking imaginative. A 3D platformer Kirby game is something I didn't even think about, or wouldn't even my mind would have been blown about this maybe like 15 years ago, or even when I was say playing stuff on the GameCube, because this is exactly the type of game I wanted from Kirby way back when, like
Yeah.
around 20 years ago. And it's like
Yeah.
getting it now, and it's almost reminiscent to like say a Super Mario 3D world, and sort of like some level design aspects of it, but at the same time that more evolutionary thing above it, to where you get the level up and upgrade your upgrades and do this, and then have them be these ultimate factors and doing all these boss rushes and collecting all the little waddle dees in order to unlock other shit. That was such a fun experience. I mean, not since a game like say Return to Dreamland, I think on Wii, that we've had a Kirby game that was universally as loved and also as universally as popular as that release. But
Yeah.
yeah, speaking of like another game, like another one of my like favorite games from this year, Pokemon Legends Arceus. And
Okay. Yep.
that
Same.
was definitely one of those type of games that, okay, you were surprised by Kirby and the quality that was. I was surprised by Pokemon Legends Arceus and the quality that was when it released. Now,
Yeah.
granted, yes, there were technical issues. Granted, there were some aspects of it that was still rough around the edges. But
Oh
when
yeah.
you got into this game, you started collecting, you started catching your first couple bits of Pokemon with your starters and stuff, and how natural it felt, how smooth everything went, and how you went through all the different terrains of the set levels they would give you and stuff. It felt awesome. It
Yeah.
didn't really feel that cumbersome. You get to encounter Pokemon in their natural habitat. This is elements of what people have been wanting. Fans have been wanting from that series since day one of enjoying the Pokemon games. They wanted that type of experience like Ash did in the anime from way back then, to where, oh, we're going to go to this forest in Viridian Forest and we're going to capture some bug Pokemon and do this and do that. Or, hey, we're going to go to Cinnabar Island and stuff, and we're going to go to this mansion and catch all these fire and poison types and this and that.
Mm-hmm.
Pokemon Legends Arceus not only does it allow you to do that and stuff, but yet it takes some of the best aspects of, say, that generation, say like the fourth generation from like Diamond, Pearl, and Platinum and stuff, to where those specific types of Pokemon are pretty much front and center from there. But all the remixes of the different types of like Hisuian forms of classic Pokemon, like how they were in the past, those were fun to experience. So like with the Alolan, like no, from like Hisuian like Growlithe and stuff, and like the Zoroarks and stuff, and the Zoras, and then like all the other types of majorly big Pokemon you had to go forth and face off against, from those aspects. That was definitely the most refreshing Pokemon game I had played in years. It wasn't the
Mm.
repetitive same old shit like we've gotten from every single like every generation after say generation 5, to where yes, Generation 6 introduced some new elements on the 3DS. Generation 7 was fine in regards to that stuff, but when it came to Generation 8 and Sword and Shield, that's when the burnout started hitting hard. It was the first time I ever played a Pokemon game to where I did enjoy the experience of it, but even after buying the DLC and this and that and stuff, I was not pressed to go back and like finish or collect any other type of Pokemon from that. But with Pokemon Legends Arceus, it gave me hope that this is the foundation for something the Pokemon games can work towards the future. From
Exactly.
where
Yeah.
Scarlet and Violet, once those released later on this year, knowing what I've known and knowing what I've played now, Pokemon Legends Arceus, makes me more excited to play Scarlet and Violet because of the leaps and bounds that were made from this game. And that's how
Yes.
important I feel that Pokemon Legends Arceus was and why it's one of my favorite games of the year.
Yeah. This was another game that's on like my short list, and I completely agree with you. Um, yeah, like you. I mean, I don't really got much to add on that, but like the loop. The most important thing about games like this is the loop.
Yes.
And the loop was addicting. It was fun. It was a great time. Like yeah, like technically, like I spent several minutes talking about ranting about the way the game ran,
Hmm.
the frame rate, the fact that like there's claim like some of the Gyarados in the background it looks like he's in claymation. Um, like I mean that's more of a Switch issue. Like the same issues are in Kirby. Um, but like looking at the game, the package as a whole, like yeah, like I love the loop. I got addicted to it. Like just having like everything you did mattered, and like everything you did helped you in some sort of way. Like nothing was wasted, and I love that. Like there's so many games out there where, yeah, like maybe like you're having a good time with it, but like it doesn't really bring you. It's not really giving you anything to progress
Right.
anything, and this always did everything you did. Even if you've already caught 80 of these Pokemon catching 80 first might do something for you, Like there's a benefit to like catching multiple Pokemon where in past Pokemon games there's never been a reason to catch multiple. So that yeah, like definitely like I'm more excited for Scarlet and Violet because of that, and yeah, that is why it's on my short list. But in their game, this will be my last one I'll talk about. I swear to God, I'm not going to talk about Strangers of Paradise. It is Horizon Forbidden West. Um, and I love this game. It's the sequel to my favorite game of 2017, the greatest year of all time for gaming, I think. Uh, and just the Aloy story it just continues to get better and better. They took so many like they didn't just play it safe with the story on this one either. They took some chances with it, and it's weird, but I thought it paid off really, really well. I don't want to spoil it because that shit is uh pretty fucking awesome. I think if you're a fan of the story of Horizon in the world, I love. I talk about the time within 2017 where I love the idea of like we see some of the futuristic games where it's like now you're in fucking space and now you're doing all this crazy ass shit. But now it's like no, like the world went to shit, which is probably the most likely scenario of like the world's gonna go to shit before we go to space. And the fact that like no, it's not only just like a nuclear holocaust happened. No, like some crazy shit went down, and now it's 1,000 years in the future, and like all the weird shit that like what happened. Like we're finding like coffee cups in the world. Like what does this mean? And all kinds of weird shit like that. And then like the combat has just gotten better. They've improved it so much. The melee combat is actually feels good to use now. Where like in the past you wouldn't use it, but it's actually fun, and I had a good time with it. And I used it. I would say I almost never used it in the past game, and in this one I used it. I would say like it's not still like great, but it's still really good. I would say like 30% of the time, which is a good upgrade from just sitting back and use a bow and arrow. But yeah, Horizon Forbidden West probably game. It's probably my number one, but I'm not certain. Kirby's really fucking bump it up against that. But yeah,
Okay.
that's like my 3-man race for game of the year.
All right, so for the last game, obviously no introduction for me. Elden Ring is definitely one of my favorite games of this year. It's definitely one of those experiences to where I look back on it now, I'm like, holy shit, I dedicated a whole entire month of playing this game. That's something rarely that ever happens with me playing certain games. The last time I've actually gone through and spent a lot of time upon one specific games, hell, look at the history that went the show, you know? I mean, Fire Emblem Three Houses was definitely one of my game of the year from back then in 2019 because of how long I spent playing that game and also how much enjoyment I was getting out of that. Obviously, Persona 5 Royal back around like 2021, I think it was, 2020. Yeah, I
2020.
okay, 2020. Yeah, I spent a hell of a long time playing that, over 100 hours playing that too, and I enjoyed the story, I enjoyed the gameplay, I enjoyed a lot of aspects in this. But yeah, I did spend a fair amount of time playing Elden Ring, and there were so many different experiences that I went through and felt. Obviously, plenty of frustration because of dying over and over again upon stupid shit. But some of the most fun I had was just experimenting around with shit, you know, seeing what works, what I needed to go forth and collect certain bells in order to upgrade certain weapons, encountering certain characters inside the overworld and stuff, so that way I can go forth and learn a specific type of spell, or I needed to get like a specific type of weapon going across and facing all these different types of gods and deities and stuff from like Godric and stuff like that, and our obviously Margaret the Fellowman, and like
Hmm.
one of my and also like going through all these different bosses and stuff, and I'm starting to forget some of the boss names, which I don't do that generally, but Malekith, that one boss that I faced off against close to the end of the game and stuff like that, that was such a fucking pain in the ass, but he was so powerful. He was one of those beast master type of stuff, and I had to overcome him. Obviously, me trying to develop my character to a certain extent so I can contend against these big old freaking things, but it was more or less like one of those type of games to where I was not only tested mentally but physically in terms of what I can go forth and withstand and what I could execute with a lot of my freaking like reflexes and a lot of my skills as a gamer in general. But I'll tell you what, I was absolutely tested when I had to face off against Melania, the Fellblade. Holy shit. That boss battle, that sword battle, that freaking sequence of like sword battles, that two-part battle in general, you know, and not, you know, that was without a doubt during the entire time we've done this podcast, I've endured a whole hell of a lot of video game stuff. I've played my fair share of both good and like some questionable games and this and that and stuff. I can legitimately say that this definitely was the hardest boss battle I had played in the past 10 to 15 years. And that is because of how precise you had to be in the specific frame of mind. And even then, when I did eventually beat this character, when I eventually beat her, I end up dying myself, and it wasn't, and it was one of those type of like double-edged sword type of moments and stuff to where I managed to kill her with like a little bit of health left. And of course, the cause of effect damage that she did kills me too because of her poison that she has with the crimson rust type of shit. But yet that crediting to me and stuff, and then me subsequently having to give a pause for a good solid 5 minutes while I collected my thoughts, my fucking fists to the ground and my head to my fucking ground in my room, like, Jesus Christ, what the fuck did I just endure? Those type of moments as a gamer are the most memorable. I will say this right now, it's like every time when every gamer has that moment to where they've gone through, they play a game to a certain extent that challenges them to a certain extent, and that once they overcome this challenge, they will remember that and they will relish the fact that say, yeah, you know what, I fucking beat this character because I persisted a hell of a lot more than some other people probably could have done. But at that same time, there were so many elements of this game that were awesome. There was definitely some frustrating moments. I definitely love taking advantage of a lot of level up stuff. But oh my god, the boss battle with Rodon, that whole fucking thing when halfway through the battle he fucking comes at you with a fucking meteor out of the sky, and here you are and your fucking horse is going through, and all of a sudden it's kaboom, and you're flying out like 30 feet in the other direction and stuff. I've seen YouTubers react to that boss battle as they're playing it live, like right after I've played through and beat that shit, and the reactions on their face, like, what the fuck is happening? Uh, just a lot of pure enjoyment, a lot of other type of shit, though. But let me tell you something, man. It's like, oh, every time when I think back of it, it's like even when I beat that game, I fucking wanted to try to start another file, and that was me like 92 hours in, and that was so fucking funny. But what I'm looking at, that was the reason why I fucking finally went through my first DualSense controller for my PS5. It's because my fucking controller got stick drift and I couldn't fix the damn thing, so I had to get another controller. But yeah, honestly, with the collection of games that I haven't played through so far this year, God, those are just a short list of the ones that I have enjoyed. That's for sure.
All right, very nice. Well, we're running a little long here, so we're going to skip the other news this week,
Okay.
and we're going to jump right into what we've been playing.
Okay.
Gables, I'm going to go. I don't have too much to say here. I did pick up the Cuphead DLC Last Course.
Yeah.
It's like, I think it's like $8.
Yeah.
I played that. It's one of the greatest games of all time, and I'm terrible at it. I beat the first boss on simple.
Yeah.
I did some of the side challenge stuff. It's really good. I love that game. I adore the game. It just sucks that they give you an easy mode in
There's
quotations.
simple mode, yeah.
Yeah, but it doesn't count towards progression.
Nope.
So it's like, what's the point of that then? Why have it if it's not I don't know. It just bugs me. Like, I'm all for creative intent, but it's like, why did you intend to put this in here but not count this as a viable option?
I kind of consider that
that's the reason
a
I didn't.
training thing, so that way you can get yourself prepped for the actual thing.
Yeah, but it's still fucking incredibly hard though, even on simple. So, but yeah, I love that game. It's just I suck at it. But the other game I'm playing, I'm like 8 hours in, and I've said for a long time now, a couple of years now, that I didn't want to play this game because I'm playing the remake, and I wanted to play that because I wanted to be my version. But then obviously as we've seen more of, we just saw the trailer for the sequel, and we're seeing the trailer for they're doing a remaster of the prequel.
Oh my god!
The whole story of the game is the fact that it's different.
Right.
The story is different from the first game. I'm playing the OG Final Fantasy VII. I bought it.
Oh my god, dude! You actually went through and did it. You fucking are playing the original Final Fantasy VII.
I am playing the original. I mentioned at the top of the show. I bought it on PlayStation, and I kind of wish I bought it on Switch because I feel like this would be the perfect game to grind out some levels while I'm watching some shit on TV or something like that. But I'm playing it on. I bought it on PlayStation. I'm playing it on there. I am about 8 hours in. The coolest thing about this, though,
yes,
is the fact that they have a 3x speed.
Yep.
So you can play the game 3 times faster.
Yes.
So I have been using that thing almost exclusively. Unless it's a big battle or cutscenes or something like that, then I don't.
Let me just say this, just not just to cut you off, just for one moment and stuff.
Go ahead.
I wish that more RPGs from that era had that feature.
Oh yeah, Bravely Default had that same fucking thing, and that was awesome. Where you're just trying to grind out some levels, and it's cool. I can just do 4 times. I can do 4 times speed or something like that. And I did so much grinding playing Bravely Default on 3DS back in the day doing that. So yeah, like I said, I'm 8 hours in. I beat the Shinra stuff in 4 hours.
Right.
Or not Shinra, what's the first town? I just totally spaced the first town. Midgar.
Okay, so
beat
you
the first
got
town.
Midgar, right?
I got on Midgar. I did the goal. I did the flashback. I did the gold saucer thing where you go and you get arrested and all that. Yes. I am now on. I literally just got to Grand Canyon. Something Canyon.
Not Cosmo Canyon, but Red Canyon or something like that, or
yeah. So I did the Del Sol place. I went through that. I went on a boat. All that, did the gold saucer. I just literally got there. I know I'm quite a ways away. It definitely feels like a game from 25 years ago. I'll say that.
Of course, there are going to be some things that are going to be aged, but at the same time, it's awesome too.
Yeah, so I'm 8 hours in. I'm having a good time. I'm I don't know if I want to say good time. It's definitely I'm having a time playing through this time. I'm having a good time going through and just seeing the differences, and it's exciting to see what happens after this game, because like a good chunk of what happens in remake, like the beat for beat stuff, like the major storyline stuff that happens in remake happens in the original game, but there's just it's crazy how much like man like that's like 6 hours of content, 7 hours of content. I mean I did it through 4 hours because I was doing triple speed,
Huh?
but yeah, like man, they stretched it out to like 35 hours,
Yep.
and it's awesome and it's good quality. Yeah, I can't wait for the sequel. So yeah, I've been playing that. I am having, like I said, I'm having a time with it. Not a great time. I'd say a good time. Like it's, I don't care about the battles. I don't care. I'm having a great time just going through the story and like I love these characters and I can't wait to see, kind of like, it's exciting that the story beats more than anything else. But
Right.
that's all I've been playing really this week. What about you, Kibbles?
Okay, so I've been playing a couple of different things while, you know, trying to combat falling asleep before 10 o'clock at night.
Story of my life. Story of my life.
So I did have a chance to play a bit of like the Imperial China stuff from the Live Alive demo, and I did that particular section. I actually beat that particular section in terms of the demo. And basically, you're like a kung fu master that's trying to look for disciples to pass upon like your martial arts skill to like towards and stuff because you do not have a lot of time left to live in this world. So you go through specific portions and stuff, and the whole aspect of the gameplay, yeah, the whole aspect of the gameplay in regards to this game, I feel it's pretty good. It's like a definitely a sort of like turn-based sort of RPG-esque type of things from like back in the 90s and stuff. But I kind of like it. It's because it's sort of like a strategy RPG, sort of grid thing to where you can move your character along, right? Different spots and stuff. But whatever type of attack that you highlight, it does like a particular attack of a certain type of panels. So case in point, there's this thing, there's this specific like a type of monkey punch attack that he does, right? To where he can do it like about a square, like he skips a square in front of him, right? And so he hits the enemy, and actually he himself can move back a square or two just to distance himself, kind of like a whole bait the enemy into like hitting them and stuff, and then just drawing back so that way the enemy doesn't counter them and stuff. There are some interesting tactics in regards to trying to experiment with, but I love the music. The music is pretty cool in this game. I'm loving how they went through and remixed some of the classic tracks and stuff from that game. The game looks absolutely fantastic, absolutely stunning. The 2D style of like 2D HD graphics of this game, it makes everything pop. And I think I've stated this before, and I really am like serious when I say I really wish when Square Enix does their remasters from just like these styles of games in the past that they go forth and stick with this 2.5 like HD sort of graphics in that regards because everything looks beautiful. It looks like it's fluid in motions and stuff. But yeah, the Live Alive demo so far, I had been enjoying it. I had been playing like a little bit in regards to the last Nintendo Switch update that had happened during this past week. With the Sega Genesis update stuff. I mean, just to touch upon just like shortly and stuff, we had a couple of different games. So there was like Target Earth, that one. There was also the meme-worthy game that people have known for years, but now it's actually you could play it in the American version, Zero Wing. The whole, literally when I saw that announced, I'm like, really, really, is this the game that
Yeah.
all the base belong to us? And all of a sudden I fucking see
Yeah.
that. I'm like,
Yep.
holy shit, like what the fuck? But
That's awesome.
then,
They made it happen.
it went from like a meme-worthy type of thing to something potentially awesome because they unveiled Comic Zone. I love Comic Zone. That's a good game. And the stealth one, which nobody saw coming, was Mega Man: The Wily Wars. That's a game that never released stateside, and it's quintessentially like how Nintendo did a Super Mario All Stars with Mario's 1, 2, and 3, and then Super Mario World on like other like some versions of that system and stuff, which were basically remasters of the graphics of those games, the music and stuff to present that. Well, Capcom did something similar, but only released on Genesis, and it was the first three Mega Man games from the NES. Retouched graphics, retouched like music and stuff like that. And I've played through most of the original Mega Man on the Wily Wars set, and it's actually pretty cool. There's hardly any type of like hiccups in regards to the whole like fluidity of the game. There are some definitely remix type of music and stuff. I definitely kind of like how they did with Iceman's stage in regards to the music chipset and everything else. But that was pretty fun. Just for kicks and giggles, I actually started a little bit of like a little Pokemon Crystal, like this random thing, because I wanted to play a little bit of that just to get myself kind of familiar. Because I wanted to try out a playthrough of the second generation to where I would use nothing but like say the Johto Pokemon, so the new Pokemon from that generation. Because it kind of reminds me of like whenever I do like a Pokemon run almost in any single game and stuff, I try to aim for the new Pokemon of that generation because I want to try something new, want to try something different, this and that. And so I started off with Totodile, right? Oh my god, I gave him the nickname of Toki, and he is definitely a fun one, you know. A little alligator, water crocodile, sort of like no. Yeah, it's like a water crocodile sort of Pokemon. It evolves eventually into like to Croconon, then Feraligatr. Feraligatr is freaking awesome too. He's so like a much of a physical water type, like beast type of a Pokemon and stuff. But I just wanted just to play through a little bit more of Pokemon since I am still jazzed and excited about playing through Scarlet and Violet this year. But other than that, I have to really think if I had actually ended up playing everything else. Well, thinking about that, I did play a little bit more of the Turtles game and stuff. Play a little bit of like Casey Jones and stuff over the first few couple of levels and stuff, and I kind of put that one down. I did try to play a little bit of Amori, but that was like maybe 15 or 20 minutes and stuff. I had some time to play in between things. It's all right. It actually surprised me that it was a turn-based RPG in some aspects of it.
That's what I was telling you about last week. That looks like
yes.
Earthbound, right? Yeah.
Yes, there are some key things that kind of remind me of like Earthbound. It's sort of quirky. It has that sort of feel and music tones to it. But I'm relatively interested in playing more of that. But otherwise, that's pretty much been it for what I've been playing this week.
All right. Well, thank you guys so much for listening. If you want to hear more from us, please look down and below in the comment section. Facebook, Twitter, Spotify, iTunes, YouTube, all those fun things. Extra Life will be down there as well. Please check us out in all those places. If you don't know about Extra Life, please click on that link and do a little research because it's a really cool thing we do every year that's coming up in we are 4 months away, Gables.
4 months.
4 months away. It is coming close. And I'm excited. But please go to all those places. Tell your friends about it. Really would appreciate it. Like I said, follow, subscribe. But I was host.
And I have been Colonel Gables. Until next time, everyone, thank you very much for listening to another episode of the Drunk-Nerds podcast.
Hey, Gables. Yep. Too sweet?
Too sweet, man.
Too sweet. Bye, guys.
See ya.